guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell. Today's book will be Last Day Blues. I'm going to be reading on a website called Epic, just because I don't have any books with me right now. So you can read along if you'd like, with your own book you have at home, or on Epic. Let's start. Last Day Blues. On the Monday morning before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell took attendance. She sighed as she called out the last name. "I'm going to miss all of you," she said. The kids nodded in agreement. "I'm going to miss my friends," said Shannon. "I'm going to miss Daisy," said Dan. "I'm going to miss chocolate milk and pizza for lunch," said Joe. Everyone felt a little blue thinking about the last day of school, even Daisy, their pet snake. That afternoon during recess, the students talked as they hung out on the jungle gym. "Mrs. Hartwell said she's going to miss us," said Alexandra, swinging from a bar. "We should get a present to cheer her up," said Eddie, hanging upside down by his knees. But what could they get her? The students heard Mrs. Hartwell say that she is going to miss them so much after school ends. So while the students are on the jungle gym, they're wondering what to get her as a present to make sure she doesn't feel a little too sad. "I could give her the rest of my sandwich. It's my mom's bologna special," said Josh. "Or a coffee cup. Or a new pen. The kind with feathers and beads." The students thought and thought, but couldn't come up with one single idea that they all agreed on. "We'll think of something tomorrow," Eddie assured everyone as they lined up at the drinking fountain. On the Tuesday, before the Friday, that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell read the final page of their last read aloud book. "I'm going to miss cycle time," said Miss Hartwell. "I'm going to miss science," said Emily. "I'm going to miss seeing Miss Hartwell wearing her safety goggles during science," said Jack, giggling. And so, before they got too sad, Mrs. Hartwell put on her safety goggles one last time, just for fun. "We definitely need to cheer Mrs. Hartwell up," said Andy during recess as he jumped out of the swing. "Any ideas about a present?" Eddie asked. "Nope," they all answered back. So again, Mrs. Hartwell decides to tell her students that she's going to miss them so much on Tuesday. Now the students are trying even harder to come up with a present for their teacher, but they can't seem to come up with one just yet. On the Wednesday, before the Friday, that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell brought in her super duper sugar cookies with extra frosting. "I'm going to miss snack time, but I can't wait for my barbecues by the pool," said Jack. "I'm going to miss recess, but I can't wait to play hide and seek outside after dinner," said Alexandra. "I'll miss school, but I can't wait for summer vacation," said Josh. The class discussed their summer plans and drummed their last day blues with another round of milk and sugar cookies. "I don't know whether to be happy or sad today," Andy said the minute they all arrived at the jungle gym. "Mrs. Hartwell is sad," said Olivia. "She probably doesn't want the year to end." "Wow, we're swimming. She'll be reading her old lesson plans," said Walker. "And while we're playing, she'll be trying to remember the fun times we had this year," said Dan. But that's when an idea zipped, zapped, and zinged through Eddie's brain. "I know exactly what will cheer her up," Eddie said, jumping up and down from the jungle gym. The class agreed it was perfect. Eddie has come up with an idea. I wonder what it is. On the Thursday before the Friday that was the last day of school, Eddie raised his hand right after Mrs. Hartwell started language arts. "We need some privacy, please," he said. And so Mrs. Hartwell took down the bulletin boards with her back to the class. She never even peeked. Well, once only. On the morning of the Friday that was the last day of school, the students dashed into the classroom. They snapped open the shades for the very last time. They did their chores for the very last time. They fed Daisy for the very last time. And as soon as the bell rang, they couldn't wait for Mrs. Hartwell to see her present for the very first time. This is what it says. "The last day of school makes us go so blue. We'll miss recess and pizza and reading too. We'll miss Daisy and cookies and friendship true. Snack time and science and learning new. We'll miss spelling bees for our test review and groundhogs that play peekaboo. This year's been great, a big woohoo! There are many things to miss, it's true, but mostly what we'll miss is you." The kids made a little card that was very big for Mrs. Hartwell with their words of everything that they would miss about school. I guess Eddie was thinking, well, everyone was saying what they would miss, that they should just write it down on a card and give it to her. So on the surroundings, they wrote pictures and signed their names and showed Mrs. Hartwell, and she looked so happy. Later on, during recess, Eddie said, "I think Mrs. Hartwell liked her present." "I just hope it helps," Margaret said. "Poor Mrs. Hartwell," they all said sadly as they pictured their final goodbye. "Teachers must hate the last day of school." And then it was time. The bell rang. "Goodbye," the students called as they rushed to the door. "Goodbye," Mrs. Hartwell called after them. And then she returned to her empty classroom. "It's just you and me, Daisy," she said. "I'm sure going to miss them this summer. But I can't wait for vacation." The end. Let's open the book. So, Mrs. Hartwell's class is experiencing the last week of school. They are going to miss each other dearly, but once Miss Hartwell says she's going to miss the kids, they decide that they need to get her a gift for the last day of school. And then they come up with the best idea yet. But what they don't know is Mrs. Hartwell is going to enjoy summer vacation more than they think. I hope you guys liked that video, and remember to subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you stay notified whenever I post another video. Come back tomorrow to see me read another. Bye guys!